evening, everyone. Welcome to our spiritual mind healing service, our Tuesday pickup in the middle of the week. Today is just one of the days that we prepare ourselves for Christmas season. Today is the fifth day, and I hope you're writing your lists and preparing your sorrel and cake. I know it's going to be a wonderful Christmas season for each and every one. Just to celebrate that Christ consciousness that is within each one of us. So please join me in this opening affirmative prayer. There's nothing else but God right here, right now. And we acknowledge that presence and power that created all things. That presence and power that is streaming forth through each and every person joining me on this Tuesday evening healing service. Each person joining this Temple of Light community to celebrate the reality of who we are. We personalize that presence and power, each one in our own special way. And I know that as our consciousness, the collective consciousness of this evening fills, permeates, heals, enlightens, and illumines each and every person who comes into contact with it. Oh, we do give thanks for this evening, this sharing of values, this sharing of principles, this sharing of what we have learned as students of the science of mind and spirit. And I know that it is all God and it is all good. I release my word with thanksgiving to that law that simply now manifests a perfect experience for each and every one this evening. This is the truth. I know that it is so, and so it is. As we put down the cares of the day, let us go within to the silence of our hearts. That inner sanctuary where we find rest, where we connect, where we commune with all that is. The omnipresence, the omniscience, and the omnipotence of God living spirit almighty. So just as we breathe in, we breathe in light. As we allow that light, which is guidance, flow through our conscious awareness. We breathe out wisdom, inspiration. Breathe in light, breathe out wisdom. And so it is. You might wonder, why do I say breathe out wisdom? But I do believe each one of us has something to share, something that will inspire us this evening, something that we can look at life in another way, a new perspective. So on Sunday in our community, I asked persons to consider my perfect world. What would each individual, what would my perfect world look like, feel like? I do hope everyone had a chance who heard to think about it. But I'm going to give you just a few seconds to just go within and visualize what your perfect world would look like. right? Open your eyes. And I'm sure everybody's smiling when you view what your perfect world looks like and feels like with enthusiasm, the joy, maybe it's peace, maybe it's just beauty, just the goodness of God flowing through that perfect world, eh? Well, in the meantime, while you're still considering it, let me share with you some thoughts that I have here about my perfect world. Well, my perfect world means the beauty, the majesty of God shining through my windows by light, by flowers, the music of the birds, and just the sweet, soft peacefulness that is within my household and outside as well. That's just the next. But while I'm sitting and enjoying this beauty, everything is in its rightful place in all my affairs. I'm enjoying perfect health. I know that my family is close and surrounding me. I mean, with just the touch of a telephone call, eh? And I know that the avenue through which I express myself, I allow others who come into contact with me to learn something new, something different, and just to allow the goodness of God to shine forth. I share in my community, yes, with all the members of my community in and outside of Temple of Light, my school friends. I just, the joy and the enthusiasm being able to connect and contact them at any moment. That's what my perfect world looks like, eh? Anyway, Dr. Holmes, the conceptualizer of our teaching, the science of mind and spirit, stated, and I quote, perfection, the real state of being, complete so that nothing is wanting, ideal faultlessness, the divine attribute of complete excellence. And he goes on to say the only way a treatment can possibly be effective is for the practitioner to see only perfection in his client, regardless of experiences or appearances. Treatment is our affirmative prayer. So, as long as we practice these principles, we evolve. I say evolve because it's a process where eyes and ears and heart are seeing the same thing, the perfection and the wholeness that is within each individual and in each event that we come into contact. But he says something that is profound, this real state of being so complete that nothing is wanting. So within that perfect world that we view, nothing, there's nothing there that is missing. I see Vance is sharing a world that is awake, living in love with joy. Yes, because what we want for ourselves, we want for others. So a real world that each and every person shares the love and the joy that they are. Yes, Vance, thanks for that. And and the divine attribute of excellence. If excellence is your mantra, it means that everything that you say, do, or think is totally aligned with that perfection and wholeness that you are. A state of being complete, not wanting or needing anything. So Isaiah comes into mind. Before we call, your answer, while we are yet speaking, the power and the presence hears. So we are in that state where everything fits into place easily, effortlessly, and joyously. Spontaneous right action, eh? So before you think, it is already provided. Before you speak, that presence ensures that everything necessary for your perfect unfoldment is in place. One may say that that is not possible, but I suggest to you that in each moment we have the choice to accept something close to perfection manifesting in our lives. Because fulfillment is our desire. All our desires must be fulfilled, and that is part of your perfect world. So, If our daily mantra could be that my life is perfect as it is, that means in every moment, no matter what the appearance is, you know that you're still living in your perfect world. You're still experiencing perfection. You're still experiencing the beauty and the majesty of our true nature and the nature of everything that is around us. And we accept that no matter what, even the little idiosyncrasies and the little stumbling blocks, that we know that within that we are still demonstrating the step necessary for us to move into that perfect world. Because sometimes the appearances are just, just to remind us what we need to learn and what we need to be in order to move upwards and onwards. So if you think about this or something better, you know that you're always constantly evolving into something higher, something greater than the previous experience. So if we remember this affirmation, perfect God, perfect being, and then perfect your name, then you will come to understand that that which is coming forth, that which is projecting in your experience, is perfect. It's just our perception of it, because we do live in our own perfect worlds. This is our experience of the presence and power that created us out of itself. That's why we are so diverse, because what I consider perfect for myself may not be perfect for the other person. And what do I consider, beautiful? It may not be the same for somebody else. But the fact is that at the core, it is perfect. We live in a perfect world. Let me go back with a little history to tell you a story. We talk about Anansi in this country, and it came to us from the descendants of West Africa who came to live in the Caribbean through the avenue of slavery. But we have Jamaicanized Anansi, and the symbol of wisdom, because he has some sayings there, as well as his very human behavior, where we can laugh at his stories. By the way, the next time you see Dr. Lilith Nelson, she has Anansi stories. She has just put out a book, so you will talk to her. And through these stories, we share the traditions that have been passed through from generations to generation, the storytelling that a lot of us grew up on from our great grandmothers and grandmothers who had rich experiences to share with us. So I want to tell you a story that I heard and saw in a book about Anansi. Anansi, while passing a home, heard the children reading a book about the perfect world that cats and rats lived lovingly in. Cats and rats living lovingly. Oh, that is a perfect world. But while he was listening to the content of the storybook, he noticed that only the names of Puss and Rat was in the book. He was livid. How could anybody write about Puss and Rat and not about the famous Anansi? So he was livid, man. So the next day, he had a plot. He saw Puss and Rat still playing harmoniously at the playing field. So he decided that, I'm going to break that up. So after the game, he went up to Puss and told him that, that rat is nice meat to eat. So I don't understand why you're on him playing around. He's supposed to be eating. You're supposed to be catching him to eat. It's nice meat. And then when Anansi saw a rat, you know what he told him? That he heard Puss telling his mother how he could catch rat to eat as he was tasty. So from that time, Rat took away himself from the presence of Puss. So everybody noticed that that holiday, that love affair went through the window. The entire village noticed the happenings, and one of the women came up to Anansi and she said, well, I'm going to make a story out of that separation, Anansi, so that all other grandmothers would tell the story to their grandchildren. Here, Anansi, now, if you forget, I will come on the wall to remind you of the story. So that's why you will always see Anansi Webbs on the wall, because that is his indicator to you that you're not to forget that puss and rat cannot live harmoniously together. Simple story, but think about it. Anansi's perfect world is where you show and talk about his prominence, all his deeds. That is what, because you see, Anansi is all over the place. So he's quite prominent, and he wants us to not to forget how prominent he is. And for rats and cats, they can never live harmoniously together. So that is their perfect world. So let us share what your perfect world. I got dances. There are others on the on the stream with us. Can you open your mics and let me know what your perfect world would look like? Anybody willing to share? I shared mine, Vance shared his.
Hi, Rev. Evening, Jen.
Hi, Jen. What's your perfect world looking like?
Well, my perfect world looking like freedom to do and to be whatever I want to do at the time that I want to do it, and the ability to be able to do that. So if it is travel, if it is just lying in my bed and sleeping late one morning, yes, that's my perfect world. But your talk triggered for me another aspect when I look into my life, and it is surrounding family, and that's also is a perfect world. But I have a sister, as I shared, that is going through, I guess, early dementia or Alzheimer's. I don't know which is which. But my other sister and I have been saying to ourselves that she's in a perfect world. Because even though we are not sure what she might be telling us or saying, and having our own conversation, that's a perfect world for her. And so hearing you talk about this just brought it home that no point in us getting worked up about the fact that we don't know what she's saying. No, she's in our perfect world, and where she is, God is, and all is well. So I thought that was the reminder for me from your talk, that when others are going through that,
But I'm glad you shared that, because I was listening to a piece of medical literature, somebody was talking about persons with Alzheimer's or dementia, and they say that this is what family members are to do. Yes, you may not understand, and they may not, but because you are together, that consciousness that you share assists them in cogniting better, even if it's a little flawed sometimes. But because you are there for her, it does wonders for her.
And I think that it does, because I share a little bit more of an experience of calling her this past weekend and saying to her, "You look so cute in that little hat and thing." And she said, "But Lord Jesus," which meant she understood what I was saying. So yes, it does help. So I'm thankful for your talk.
Thanks, Willie, Willie Jane. Mrs. Livingstone for sharing that. Because family is so important. That's my perfect world. I totally agree with you, my dear. Totally. As Vance is saying, Sheena is saying her perfect world is to be in harmony with myself and others. Harmony with myself and others.
May I, Reverend Anne, please?
Hi, Lady Sandy. How are you? How is your perfect world looking like?
In my perfect world, I would be more, maybe 99% spirit and 1% human. I would not as quick to react. I would be not I would really, really, really be God expressing in every aspect of my life. So, and that would mean that it would affect my finances, my health, my relationships, my conversations, the way I experience people. All of that would be like, seeing and feeling and hearing through the lens of spirit, rather than that of being human.
Mm. Thank you for sharing. But guess how you recognize spirit on this plane of existence? Because you are very human. And in your humanity, you are still divine. I would take you as, I mean, yes, you
Yeah,
can
remember you
be
asked what the
99%.
perfect world would
Yeah,
look like.
but I will take you as how I see you, and I get you. So,
Mhm.
yeah. Thanks for sharing that, Sandy. Thanks for sharing. That's what we
What one
all aspire
aspires
to
towards.
hear. Mhm. I love that. Thanks. Thanks for sharing. Anybody else?
Oh,
Ready, Shane? This is recommended, being to, I mean, to understand what it is that you're going forward with. What is it that you want to aspire to? What, as Sandy says, she's growing towards this being able to be so God realized that everything comes out right. Her experiences, and she knows where she is and she knows where she wants to go. So even if we don't talk, but get a piece of paper or something, a diary, journal, whatever it is, but write it down. Write it down, because sometimes it's when you see it, you realize that, wow, I need to add this, I need to erase that, I need to do, the little touch up to just allow yourselves to just move upwards into this new way of being. Because guess what? The state of mind that you had in the past is not the state of mind that you're going to use tomorrow, next week. So you are being perfected by that presence and power within you. It's just for our conscious realization and acceptance that we are perfect as we are. Mhm.
Thank you, Rev. I'm glad you concluded by saying we're perfect as we are, because you did make point out in the talk that, whatever the experience we're going through, it's perfect. So even in this imperfection, we are experiencing what is perfect for us, the
Yes.
experience we're having now. So thanks. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, Jen. And yes, because the first point that I have to dissolve any sense of otherness is what can we learn from the imperfections, eh? What can we learn so that the next moment we can be better?
Yes.
Tomorrow we can be at our best, and that there are varying degrees of being at your best. Because as you grow and unfold, you have new experiences, your body changes, your life changes. And how can we what can we do to ensure that we move upwards and onwards without, any trauma that will allow us to just stay in a state of bitterness or whatever. What can we do? We can use prayer for one. We can use meditation, and breath work is good. Breath work is good. It allows you to go into the inner sanctum of your heart and just let spirit advise you, instruct you as to what is necessary for you to move upward and onwards, because it is individual, as Jennifer said. It is individual. Your connection, your expression of spirit is individual. So you have to have deep that connection. You have to have a real relationship with that presence and power. Be still so that you can hear what you need to know to be better than the past and going forward into a new world. And we have to do maintenance work, because while you're stepping up and stepping into what you have come here to share, what is your purpose, to remember who you are, you have ideas like gratitude, service to others, creative pursuits that allow you to fully express every domain of your life. You can think of unconditional love, empathetic listening to others. There are ways and beings that you can use to keep you focused on sharing the essence of who you are as you are evolving into that which you came here to share. And the last idea that I have here is God is, I am is still the best way to live and maintain your perfect world. God is I am. God is, I am. Because whatever God is absolute perfection and wholeness. That is what we are, and that is what we have come here to reveal. So, it allows us to be humble when you realize that you are a vehicle through which, as Lilith was singing on Sunday, this great big white God is choosing Anne or Sandra or Jennifer or Vance to experience and express at its highest and best. We are here for a purpose, and we are special, and we are perfect as we are. So, thank you for sharing. And as you say, if you have not contributed verbally, you find that journal and think about it. What does my perfect world look like? Good. Are there any requests for prayer? Vance, in the chat?
Help for me, please.
Thanks for Sandy.
And I'd like to include health for my sister as well, Juliet.
All right. Let us breathe together and go within to recognize that perfect life. That perfect life, which is indeed God, living Spirit Almighty. That life out of which we were all incarnated, and very especially Sandra and Juliet, expressions of the health of God. So I know for Sandy and Juliet, that right where they are, at the very center of their being, that perfect big blueprint of wholeness and perfection is even now renewing every cell, every tissue, organ, and function of their body temples. And all who have accepted this treatment within to know, without a shadow of doubt, that every organ of our bodies are working harmoniously together. We are alive, alert, filled with the vigor that is indeed God. We are guided to do whatever is necessary for us to experience optimum health. To know that every step of the way, we are able to function at the highest possible level. It means that we are strengthened. It means that every step that we take is filled with vivacity and enthusiasm of life. So we just know that this perfect life, which is the life of God in us, as us, for us, is forever regenerating, renewing, revitalizing every aspect of our very being. It is God. God and only God. So I know that we are guided to eat right. We are guided to exercise, whatever is necessary for us to just experience that essence of wholeness permeating our cells, our tissues. And indeed, as we just allow the radiance of life to unfold through us, we truly experience God as the perfect health of who we are. So we do give thanks. We give thanks for our beautiful body temples that are maintained easily, effortlessly, and joyously by that perfect intelligence that created us out of itself. So I release these words to that law of life that manifests perfectly through each and every one, very especially Sandra and Juliet right now. I give thanks that this is so, and so it is. Our next affirmative prayer is one of love, love for Dawn, love for each and every one of us as we open our hearts to that perfect love that creates us out of itself. Love. We are love made manifest, each one of us. As that love of God just unfolds through us. Wherever we are magnets. I know that love flows into our lives easily, effortlessly, joyously, wherever we are. Love radiates from us, touching each and every person that comes into contact. We recognize the truth of each and every individual. We remember that we are loved and we are loved. Oh, God so loved that He gave this world to each and every one of us. He gave us dawn, and we share in the generosity that is indeed done. So we just know for each one as we share this love in our community, we are transformed. The fellowship that we share allows us to know for each one that we all make a difference. We all make a difference to the life of our community. As love unfolds in through us, especially this Christmas season, I know our families experience that love that we share in gifts and the fellowship and the eating and the partying. God is at the center. God is at this experience, the exterior of our lives. Love shows up for each and every one of us because we are loved. So we give thanks for that love and know that as we just let it flow through our beings, consciously aware every moment, putting and guided by this perfect love of God. I know it's the truth about each one of us. I release these words with thanks to the Lord that simply now makes it so. And so it is. Jennifer, I didn't get that. Can you repeat? Can you send it again?
And just unmute, I ask for prayers of peace for Jamaica and the rest of the world.
Thank you. That is peace. That peace surrounds us. That peace indwells us. That peace that is at the heart of our beings. It is indeed part of our way and the way of our heart. Peace, perfect peace, that passeth all understanding. My peace that I give unto you, not as the world giveth. Peace of God that is in each one of us. It's that serenity and calmness of spirit that is even now flowing out to touch, to heal our island Jamaica, every nook and cranny. There is peace. There is even at the center of the issues in our lives that are stormy, there is peace, that silence, that serenity. That is indeed the power and the presence of Almighty God revealing itself in through us. Peace reigns supreme over this island. And I know that is as it is magnified, it goes out into the entire world, every single corner of this world. Peace is now revealing itself in through us every heart. There's a recognition that each person is indeed in fellowship with the other. No conflict, just peace. Just the ability to reason together, to plan together, to agree, to disagree, but there is peace. Always peace. We give thanks for that sweet, soft peace that encircles us now as a community flowing out through our island, Jamaica, indeed to the cusp. We can visualize a perfect world where all live in peace and harmony. This is the truth. I release these words, the love that manifests easily, effortlessly, and joyous. Peace. Peace. This is so, and I know that it is so, and so it is.
Thanks, Rev, and so it is.
Are there any more requests for prayer? Vance, can you put up our announcements, please? Thank you, Vance. Well, I know the first one for the PowerPoint is joining Reverend John on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. 5 moments in the garden at 6 o'clock. Just what you need to start your day, to remind sometimes when we get up on the wrong side of the bed, there's Reverend John to remind you of who you are. So join him on his Facebook page, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 6 a.m. I'm sure you'll be energized. Noon bites at midday, at boost for the soul. When we look at principles just for 4 minutes, and an affirmative prayer and an affirmation to take him to the rest of the day. Join us Monday to Fridays at noon on Noon Bites. And prayer for Thursdays at 6 p.m. Come and be lifted up by that transformative power of God's love, light, peace, and joy. This is a spiritual adventure for each and every person. Every Thursday. It's only on the last Thursday of the month that it is at 5 o'clock. Join us for prayer power and just allow your consciousness to be uplifted by the presence and power of God. And our classes continue. I think there are about 2 classes left for Reverend Michelle's class, You Were Born Rich. Or you have to pray, if you have missed it, you have to pray that she has a whole slew of classes planned for next year. I don't know. You can put on your name, but God help you, because people have benefits so much by the concepts and the principles that she has shared. So, and there's Ignite Your Life with Bible Wisdom. I think, Vance, you have quite a few classes left. So please join them on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Reverend Sonia, Steve, and Vance, as you share the exciting journey of metaphysics through the parables and Jesus's teachings. Oh, you can't miss it. You can't miss it. So it's okay. And we have something that we're sharing now. Oh, yes, from December 16th to December 24th, that last week second to last week of December, we have special things lined up. It starts out with our creative Christmas Bazaar on Saturday, December 16th, starting at 10 to 3. Small tables that's a 6-foot trestle table. That's the fee for that is $3,000. And for the 8-foot, it is $3,500. So all those persons who we have gone 5 tables, we're going to have orchids there, we're going to have clothes, we're going to have a myriad of things that you can share as gifts to your family, and the togetherness that we'll have. So you come out to our bazaar. On Sunday service, Reverend Michelle is going to continue with the theme for Advent. She'll be talking about love, right? The Monday, if you're passing by and you want to just take time here to stop, you can stop with us, but take 5 during the busy schedule to just read a book or, journal, but just to remember to support others during this time. Some people feel very lonely at this time. So reach out to your friends and those people you haven't heard for a long time. That's Take 5 on the Monday. On the Tuesday, we have our spiritual enrichment services. We're going to try and target our members who are overseas to just let them know that we're checking in on them, and we still have a fellowship that they can always tap into. Labyrinth Walk for Peace. Yes, we're walking for peace, a Christmas Labyrinth Walk. So come out. And as well, if you have care packages that you want to leave under the tree, we're going to give them to the National Children's Home and other places of safety.
Reverend Ann,
yes,
on Tuesday, December the 19th, we're not on a ship, so all those who are abroad, not aboard.
Thank you for that. I will change it. Thank you for that spelling error. Aboard is right. Thank you.
Although maybe this is telling us we need to organize a cruise.
Well, That's an idea. That's a
2024.
very good idea.
Yeah, man.
There are quite a few CSL ministers are organizing for next year. Maybe we need to hook up with somebody.
Correct.
I think they're going off to Indonesia or some at Bali. Ooh,
Oh boy.
put that on your bucket list.
Mm-hmm.
Prayer Pour is on the Thursday, the 21st. And on Friday, we want to connect with our community around us with just a lunchtime concert with them, some caroling, poetry, and prose. We'll be open at the temple just for a little lunchtime sharing with our community. We are going to add, we have some offices on our road, so we are going to invite them to come over for lunchtime. Saturday, the kids are having a party. And on Sunday, our special Christmas Eve service where we have caroling, lighting of the candles, and a lot of, just fellowship. We just want everybody to come out so that we can hug and talk about, how we're going forward as a community. So it's a new year coming up, and you just want to make sure that everybody's in a good mood. Good spell with G-U-D. Okay, all right. So this is our Christmas plans for that second to last week in December. And join us on Sunday service, 9 a.m., when Dr. Sonia Davidson will be speaking, I think, on peace, the stillness. So join us for the stream on Sunday. And we're right back here Tuesday evening next week, or Tuesday pickup for the week. Right. So, and if you feel moved to support our ministry, please feel free to donate at donate.templeoflightcsl.org. And we want to thank you for your generosity, your assistance in talent, time, and treasure. To continue helping us to be a beacon of light for this world. And our love offerings, if you're about to touch that donate button, let us bless that love offering together. Lovingly I give, joyfully I receive. Be thou fruitful, increase, and multiply. Bless, prosper, and enrich everyone whom you touch, and replenish all of my financial affairs. Thank you, Father. And so it is. Please join me in our prayer for our center. The Temple of Light Center for Spiritual Living is a sacred field embodying our spiritual community from which the Christ peace, love, and joy emanate. To touch, to heal, to bless, to prosper, and to liberate anyone who comes into contact with it in any way. The light of the Christ illumines us, our center, and our environment. Our spiritual community is filled with and surrounded by the presence of God and is growing from strength to strength. The power of God expands our consciousness of truth, guiding us ceaselessly along the paths of wisdom, spiritual growth, unfoldment, and attainment. We are blessed, and to God be the honor and glory forever. And so it is. Amen. And the prayer of our country, Jamaica, our beautiful island. The radiant light of God's love is now flowing through us and from us to everything and everyone it touches. The eternal light of God's love now completely fills, covers, and surrounds our island, Jamaica. The glowing intensity of the light of God's love now interpenetrates and awakens within the hearts and minds of our countrymen and women the truths of life which set free. The light of God's love is growing and glowing in intensity in the hearts and minds of mankind everywhere. Love, health, harmony, goodwill, peace, uprightness, integrity, joy, prosperity, kindness, and our oneness under God are now established. And so it is. Thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you for sharing your consciousness. And I know that as we continue preparing for that Christ season, when we allow the Christ consciousness to reveal itself into us, as wherever we show up as love, we show up as peace and joy, and we live in our perfect worlds. Because it is really one all the same, you know? It's just one God experiencing itself as all of us. So we are one big, one happy family. So as we rest tonight, we open our hearts and minds to that precious love and know that tomorrow is a new day, a new dawn of new opportunities. So join me in this closing affirmative prayer. My heart is filled with gratitude for this medium through which we share consciousness, and to acknowledge together and recognize that the only power, the only presence there is in spirit and light. Each one of us personalize its presence and its power. The isness that is the essence of our very beings. So the liberty or the life force of God flows through each one of us. Indeed, we are loved. We are guided. We are empowered, impelled to do whatever is necessary for our highest experience of that which created us out of its. And at our very hearts, there is stillness and peace. And as we live in that peace, divine right action as a beauty in our lives unfolds easily, effortlessly, and joyously. Everything fits into place for us to honor the beauty and the majesty of God within each one of us. And as we allow that beauty and majesty to reveal itself, the joy that we emanate, the joy that we share, that quiet sense of knowing that we are loved and loving and lovable at the same time, because it's God in expression in through us, each one of us. God is the love of our lives. And I know for us, as we say God is love, we can say I am love, and let love reign supreme in our life and affairs. And as we allow that love to reign supreme, we rest well. And we look forward to a new day of opportunities to experience the prosperity, the health that is good. And we know that as we say a kind word, each and every one, we know that this word of ours will work for everyone. I release my word to Lord and give thanks that all this is so, and so it is.
And so it is.
Okay. All right. We have Sacred Circle next.
Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you all for sharing.
Thank you.